If you manage to snag a huge celebrity for your project, most filmmakers would take advantage and give them a huge role. But that's not always the case. Sometimes, people are perfectly happy paying top dollar to use an ultra star for 2 lines or 2 seconds of screen time. As the old saying goes, there are no small parts, only small actors. Then again, some of these examples stretch that expression to its breaking point. Here are some major actors hired to do very little. Vin Diesel, Guardians of the Galaxy. Marvel paid the Fast and Furious star Vin Diesel a whole lot to say just 3 words.
I am Groot!
Over and over again.
I'm Groot.
Yeah, you said that.
Yes, he says it different each time depending on the situation,
I am Groot.
but he's still technically repeating 3 words for an entire movie. And yet, each word is more memorable than anything he said in The Pacifier.
Do the Peter Panda dance. Just hop 3 times like a kangaroo.
Now let's all go back to forgetting that movie exists. But despite the simplicity of playing Groot, Diesel is actually saying something different each time. He has a special script that gives him the English translation of whatever Groot is saying, so he can more easily get into the tree's head.
A Gun Diesel version of the script,
To be fair.
where Groot's dialogue is not, I am Groot.
See, it's not just Rocket who can understand him. Regardless of the work Diesel is or isn't doing with the role, it's still impressive that the actor at least attempts to do the Baby Groot voice naturally. Next up, voicing all the chipmunks in the next inevitable Alvin sequel. Or not. Jay Leno and George Clooney, South Park. These days, if South Park snags a celebrity cameo, they'll likely milk it like any other show would. But that wasn't the case early on, and the hit animated series used to treat celebrities exactly how you'd expect them to, like they barely exist. In one of the show's first episodes, creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone somehow snagged Jay Leno, and they had him play a cat. Not like a magical talking cat, just a normal house cat, doing mostly normal house cat things. They hired the biggest talk show host on the planet to meow a few times and go home.
No, Kitty, this is my corned beef cabbage. No, Kitty, it's a bad kitty.
Amazingly, only a couple episodes earlier, Parker and Stone cast George Clooney in Big Gay Al's Big Gay Boat Ride. Clooney played Stan's gay dog, who woofed like, well, pretty much any other dog.
Sparky, where'd you get that pink scarf?
They land 2 of the biggest stars in show business, and the South Park guys hire them to sound like house pets. John Hurt, Spaceballs. Sometimes when you parody something, the thing you're poking fun at gets in on the act. That was the case in 1987, when actor John Hurt showed up in Mel Brooks' Spaceballs for about a minute, to do the exact same thing he did in Alien.
Oh no, not again.
Of course, where Hurt's original Alien role was the stuff of straight-up nightmares, his time with Spaceballs was a bit more fun, and somewhat less likely to haunt your dreams until the end of time. The best part about this brief scene is how the joke works for everybody. Even if you never saw Alien, you can appreciate this thing popping out of a guy's stomach and doing its best Michigan J. Frog impression.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. Send me a kiss, my wine. Baby, my heart's on fire. If you refuse me, honey, you lose me. Then you'll be left alone. Oh, baby, telephone and tell me I'm your own.
Kate Blanchett, Hot Fuzz. Actor Kate Blanchett's a pretty big deal, in case you missed it, so it makes perfect sense that she'd be in a big deal movie like Hot Fuzz, right? What makes less sense, however, is how she shows up for less than 2 minutes, never shows her face, never appears again, and never gets credited for her role, despite that role being that of the main character's estranged girlfriend.
Hello?
Janine, it's me.
I know, I'm at work.
I know. I'm outside.
Blanchett's Janine is a crime scene investigator clad head to toe in a white examiner suit, which leads to the wonderful scene where Simon Pegg starts talking to her, only to realize he's talking to the wrong person in a white suit.
Janine, I've been transferred. I'm moving away for a while.
I'm not Janine.
Janine, I've been transferred. I'm moving away for a while.
He and the real Janine have an argument about Peg's character being a workaholic, and that's it. That's all Cate Blanchett did in this film. But since the scene was so delightful and delightfully British, it's also all she needed to do. Kurt Russell, Forrest Gump. One of the first famous people young Forrest Gump mingled with was a pre-fame Elvis Presley. At the time, he was just some southern kid with a guitar, although Forrest did accidentally teach the king his signature dance move.
I started moving around to the music, swinging my hips.
The guy physically playing Elvis is just some guy, but the voice is none other than Kurt Russell, who showed up to sing a little bit of Hound Dog in the voiceover booth.
You ain't nothing but a I like that guitar. It sounded good.
Voicing Elvis was, in a way, taking it full circle for Russell. 15 years before Forrest Gump, he played Elvis in a movie called, appropriately enough, Elvis the Movie. But he didn't actually get to sing. Country star Ronnie McDowell handled that. But thanks to Forrest, Russell can finally say he played the Elvis role completely. It just took him a while to get there. Brad Pitt and Matt Damon, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. Based on the not-true story of dating game creator Chuck Barris being a CIA assassin, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind sported an all-star director in George Clooney. He naturally used his star power to bring in fellow superstars, such as Matt Damon and Brad Pitt, and naturally had them do, well, pretty much nothing. Literally, the only time you see Damon or Pitt is when they appear on Barris's dating game. They never say anything, and they never even attempt to woo the girl. They just sit there as the camera quickly pans past them. That's all. You barely have enough time to process the fact that two of the biggest stars on the planet are playing the equivalent of movie extras. Finally, the camera focuses on Bachelor number 3, a schlubbly guy who inexplicably wins anyway, beating out his two gorgeous contestants. Still, the audience getting to see the two of the top actors in the world for a whopping 10 seconds, only to never see them again, is a bigger punchline than all of Barris's insane stories combined. Glenn Close, Hook. Don't feel bad, there's a good chance you didn't notice Glenn Close in Hook at all. But there she is, playing one of Captain Hook's many underling pirates. But no matter how much you pause and stare at the screen to catch a tiny glimpse of Close in the crowd, you won't find her. That's because she's not in the crowd. Instead, she's the bearded pirate getting brutally punished for betting against Hook's success. It's amazing what happens when you put down the razor for a few days. Yes, that's Close, playing a bearded male pirate named Gutless, sporting manlier whiskers than pretty much any guy could ever hope to grow. Living up to his name, Gutless immediately starts groveling and crying when he realizes that Hook knows he's a traitor.
Oh, say it. Say it.
I did.
Yes, you made a boo-boo.
I did.
He's then tossed into the Boo Box, a treasure chest that the other pirates throw live scorpions into, until Gutless apparently dies from being, scorpioned to death? Dan Aykroyd, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Dan Aykroyd has one of the more distinct voices in Hollywood.
We used to roast Stay Puft marshmallows by the fire at Camp Wakanda.
So it's a shocker that he was actually able to pull off an uncredited cameo and have so few people realize it was him. And yet, he did just that with Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. He's the guy escorting Indy and his gal pal along with Short Round onto a plane, all while apologizing that they'll have to ride with a bunch of chickens. In the 15 or so seconds you see Aykroyd on screen, you never actually see his face close up, which explains a lot of why his cameo went so under the radar for viewers.
I'm Weber. I spoke with your assistant. We've managed to secure 3 seats.
Michael Bay, Mystery Men. While he's not an actor per se, Michael Bay is as famous as anyone he directs. And whenever he insists his movies are actually good, we're forced to suspend disbelief more than we do whenever Tom Hanks plays a mean guy. Seriously, we're just not buying it, Tom. But Bay managed to get himself in front of the camera a while back, albeit briefly. If you watched Ben Stiller's 1999 superhero spoof Mystery Men, and judging by the box office take, not many of you did, you would have seen Michael Bay for a glorious 4 seconds. He's the fratty doofus bro at the evil guy's meeting, and that's basically it. He doesn't even come back to hit Ben Stiller in the head with an evil beer can. Really, if you think about it, it's absolutely perfect that Bay played a frat guy. That is, after all, his target demographic. Thanks for watching. Click the looper icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.